Megan from Zillow, if you're watching, we're going to do
you're going to call her out like
I'm
that?
I'm going to call her.
You're going to call her out?
Yes, because I said I would.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show. My name is Matt, that is Shawn, and welcome to our show. Shawn, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the most expensive house on the planet has just come on the market in New York City for $250 million. We'll talk about that. Locally, in our own backyard, Alexandria is near the top of the list for new projected apartments in the United States. Lots of development happening in Alexandria. We'll touch on that. And then we'll hit it with our Are You In or Out segment, Shawn. We got something involving a castle. We got something involving an alien. And we got something involving an island. Ooh. So we'll get Shawn's hot takes on whether or not he's in or out on those topics. So let us begin with an article from the New York Post. Speaking of posts, I saw the post on Instagram by Sirhant. The New York City penthouse is listed for $250 million. This is at Billionaires Row Central Park Tower, setting a record. This is a 17,000 square foot floor plan, a triplex, 3-level penthouse. You are 1,550 feet high in the air. I really can't do it justice. And, you know, it's so much so that they haven't even released interior photos of the penthouse. So this is clearly a once in a generational property that has literally never existed on the face of the planet before, and it is now coming in for sale at $250 million, which would eclipse the previous most expensive property, which sold for $238 million. So, Shawn, what are your thoughts on the $250 million condo at Central Park Tower?
This thing is amazing. 17,000 square feet on the 121st floor or something like that. Well, it takes up multiple floors. You've got to see the pictures that are online. It's these staircases with just windows all around the staircases that are going up, really cool views of the city. Now, what Ryan Sirhant says in this is that when there's also not only is there 17,000 square feet of living space, but there's like 1,700 square feet of exterior patio or terrace space over the city on the 100. So they're saying that this is not only the most expensive house in the world, but it's the highest terrace, private terrace in the world, which is complete insanity. So for those reasons, my prediction, I think this is going to sell. I think it's going to go really close to that price because it's the only one in the world. And there's so many billionaires out there that are like, you know what? This is my chance. This is it. I'm gonna scoop this up. It's different from the one out in California because it's like, you know, all right, you're just trying to go big, big, big. But this is in New York City, 121st floor. I mean, I'm totally excited. Another thing he said about it is like, you think you're in the middle of New York City that it's going to be loud, but he's like, you're so high that as soon as you step out, you hear nothing.
You're above the noise.
You're above the noise.
That's insane.
It's insane.
And, you know, even if it doesn't sell for $250 million, I mean, at $250 million, you're at about $14,000 per square foot. But even if you build the thing, you know, at $1,000 per square foot, or even $5,000 per square foot, you're even making out like a bandit. You know, this is by Extell Development, and you almost have a comparable property which sold for $238 million. So I'm very excited to see when the property videos start dropping for this $250 million penthouse. I'm excited to see that.
Oh, totally excited. I think me and Matt are going to fly up there and hopefully do a video tour of this property.
We got to talk to some people over at Sirhant.
If you know anybody, we'll see what we can do. But there were sales in the building in the mid I want to say $50 million range already, right?
So the building is new. I mean, it was finished. It was built around 2020, and the developer didn't even want to. Gary Barnett didn't even want to show off the penthouse. Didn't want to have, hey, check out the floor plans, because he felt like it was something that you just kind of had to like be inside of to appreciate. So they haven't even marketed it until the building was actually complete.
Yeah, so they waited till everything was done before they even said, all right, it's available, which is a really cool idea. I mean, I'm totally, if you think about 17,000 square feet, right? A big house, 4,000 to 5,000 square feet, that's a big house. This is 3.5 times the size of a big house in Arlington, and it's 120 floors up. They're saying it has multiple ballrooms in it, and they've actually built it out, so it's not like a bare bones thing, right? They've already built it out, but you could possibly put a pool in. They were saying.
You have a ballroom overlooking Central Park. That is insanity.
I mean, that's so cool. You want to go in on it? Airbnb it?
I don't know if I could afford the condo fees.
Oh, we couldn't. There's no way.
Could you imagine the brokers open at a place like this?
Oh my God. I wonder what the condo fee is on that. It's got to be like.
If you got to ask.
Yeah. You
can't afford it.
Yeah. Don't be buying that.
Absolutely incredible. We'll see what this ends up going for, because I was thinking like, oh man, the interest rates are going up, stock market, but the buyer doesn't care about interest rates.
No.
You think they're getting a loan on this?
Man. It's all cash.
This is Randy Moss, straight cash, homie.
Yeah,
That's how they're going to do it. So $250 million. We're definitely going to be following up on this story. Absolutely incredible. I've toured a condo on Billionaires Row. I thought it was a lot of money. It was $25 million. That's a lot of money. That's what? My math isn't very good. Was
10
that
times?
10%?
Yeah, 10%. This is 10 times more expensive. Now, how many square feet? Do you remember how many square feet?
I think it was like 4,000.
So 4,000. This one's 17,000.
Crazy.
Which is just, I mean, and that thing was big, right?
It's huge.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Wow.
But you got an in on that one, so hey, maybe we can get in on this one. We'll see.
Maybe so. I know some people.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next topic. This comes to us from Rent Spree and Rent Cafe. Alexandria, Virginia tops cities for projected apartments in the United States. According to a report by Rent Cafe, they essentially analyzed 125 metropolitan areas in the United States for apartment construction. And D.C. came in 9th place for the numbers of apartments being built. And Alexandria, as a submarket of D.C., was one of like the top cities in the D.C. metro area. So, D.C. ranked number 9th. And then of that, Alexandria ranked really high up there. And they've already completed about 1,800 units in the first half of 2022, and more to come, as the year wraps up, Shawn. And it just gets me thinking, like, every time there's a new hole in the ground, every time there's a new development, people just say, who's going to live here? Where are the people? I thought it was full. Where are these people coming from, Shawn? There is so much room to fill for demand of new apartments in this area that even when they complete all of these new apartments, there's still going to be demand. So those are my thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, and it's good for our area. Right now we're going through this real estate, like what's going to happen. Everybody's like, I mean, interest rates are so high, the market's kind of falling. Yeah, you know what? The funny thing is I was looking at articles today, and it's like half of them are like, oh, highest prices ever. And then the other half is like, the sky is falling.
Right.
No one knows what's happening. I mean, we're all in this like weird mix of things. But when you hear that Alexandria City, and this is just city, right? Alexandria City, the small area that it encompasses, is one of the top 20. It's the only small city in the top 20 of apartments being built. And that says something about our area, right? Yes, and this is another thing that I've said so many times is like, you have to know when we're seeing articles nationwide, it's a lot different than when you go into these submarkets. And the DC market and the markets right around it are hopefully going to stay strong. And by the looks of it, with all of the investment that is coming in to that small area, they're thinking the same thing, right? They're thinking that prices are going to keep going, industry's going to keep coming in, companies are going to still be hiring, even if it's like 60% or 40% of the time that they have to actually go in the office. They're still going to be wanting to be in this area because we have so much infrastructure. We have all of the bars, restaurants, and everything in the places that people want to be. And yeah, there is something to be said for living and working remotely out in the sticks or wherever you want to be. But man, you're going to miss these restaurants.
Well, we talked to someone the other night that worked at Zillow that said, hey, Montana's got a boom, but everyone that bought in Montana forgot that it gets below zero for like 30 days in the wintertime.
Right.
And so it's a boom, and then people are like, wait a second, how cold is it? And then they may have a change of heart.
Yeah, Megan from Zillow, if you're watching, we're going to do
you're going to call her out like
I'm
that?
I'm going to call her.
You're going to call her out?
Yes, because I said I would. And we're going to talk.
Okay.
I was like, hey, Megan, maybe we could have you on the show.
That'd be a good person.
She had a lot of interesting data.
Yeah.
I mean, that would help us out. So I think if you'd like to see Megan from Zillow on the show, give us,
I was just going to say, a source from Zillow. I was just going to put it out like that. But
well, you've got to like watch the sub markets, right? So we saw this big, crazy transition of real estate where people were buying, and it was different, right? For the first time in so long, everybody was going towards different areas, right? They were moving out to, if I can work remotely, I'm going to go move to the beach, right? But reality is going to set in, and those people that moved out to the country, they're going to be like, maybe this isn't so great. I kind of do want some sushi,
Yeah.
Like I do.
How's the sushi in Montana? You can't get much sushi in Montana.
Unless you're catching your own trout in that stream behind your house. But, there was this drastic change, and I think reality will set in at some point, and some of those areas will definitely drop. But the key point is investment is still coming to Alexandria, and the majority of that's come in already is in the Hoffman Theater area over in near kind of closer to the King Street Metro. There was a big parking lot over there. Apparently, I haven't been over there in a little while, but there's a Wegmans now there, and they built these two awesome places. One is called the Easton.
You got the Easton, and then you got Dillon and Reese.
Yeah, so there's a whole article that's linked to this article that we were looking at about the amenities and everything that's in there, and they were saying that there's like roof terraces and 3 acres of private elevated terraces, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you had mentioned, Alexandria is like a small city, quote unquote. So going back to the article, Alexandria ranked 14th among the top cities in the United States for apartments built in the first half of 2022. Some of the other cities that are on this same list as Alexandria: Houston, Seattle, Miami, and Los Angeles. So when you're going up against, these top dogs, Houston, you're kind of just building out. But I don't see in the future this like emptiness of apartment buildings. Like, every now and then you'll see an article from China where it's like, hey, we built this brand new city and no one's living there, and there's all these like empty apartment buildings, right? Because it's just in the middle of nowhere. Or Houston, I don't know as well, but you have the land. Here, land is so valuable where you're building it at the Hoffman Center, you're building it at the Mark Center, you're building it at the West End, where you have a confined area that is like literally inside the Beltway. So I think there is all the demand in the world to turn Northern Virginia surface parking lots into 300-unit multifamily buildings.
What people, you met somebody that came in from Atlanta at our presentation the other day, right? And she was saying,
Glenda Baker.
Glenda Baker,
You're not going
right?
to say her name?
Okay, Glenda Baker. So I was on stage with Glenda Baker. It was pretty awesome, right? But Glenda was like, I'm staying in Arlington, and I was going to do her accent, but I won't try it. But I'm staying in Arlington, and I thought I was in the city, but apparently I'm not in the city. And I'm like, well, listen, what you have to understand about the DC market is like there's Washington DC proper, but then you've got satellite cities all around the District of Columbia, right? So you've got Alexandria, you've got Arlington, you've got Bethesda. I mean, and it keeps going around into Maryland. There are a lot, and these are cities unto themselves, right? They're small cities, but if you made that whole thing one big city, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of infrastructure, and that's what people don't really understand about our market if you're coming in from somewhere else.
Well, I like to say that Arlington is a city if you're used to like the suburbs, and Arlington is a suburb if you're coming from the cities.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is, right? It doesn't feel like a city, but it really is. We've got high rises, we've got mid rises, we've got a growing population, we've got the metro that runs right through it, and in my eyes, it's a city. Growing up in Pittsburgh, that's a small city. Being in the city is one thing, but outside is different. This is kind of like, if you're coming from New York, you're definitely in the suburbs, but if you're coming from the suburbs, like Matt said, it's a city.
Cool. Well, let's move on to our third topic. This is in or out. What is becoming my new favorite part of the show, where I ask Shawn 3 questions on 3 different real estate topics, and he can tell me if he's in or out, Shawn.
And I have not seen these yet.
He's actually not seen them, but I'll kind of share my screen with him right now so he can get a glimpse at them. First one. All right, well, he just took a look at it. First one comes to us from Realtor.com. Spoiler alert, they're all from Realtor.com. Are you in or out, Shawn? Hear he. Alaska Castle for $649,000 quickly finds a buyer. This is literally a castle. So it's a castle, but it kind of just looks like a regular home, like kind of once you're inside. But from the exterior, you have the spire, right? You can walk up there. You can sit on the circular rooftop. You can look out at the mountains, and it's $649, Shawn. So are you in or out on the Alaska Castle?
I have to say there are some cool aspects to this house, but the first thing, I'm not a castle person. I'm not buying a castle.
I thought you were going to be all in on this.
I'm out.
It kind of looks like a Lego.
It looks like a Lego, yeah. I mean, I like the whole thing on top, the rooftop spire thing. That's really cool. There's some cool features, but I am not into the castle theme. And the funny thing is, I used to live in Lake Barcroft, right? And there was this plot of land that used to jut out into the lake, and it was like the best plot, right? And for a long time, there was a guy that wanted, supposedly, this is what I heard, wanted to build like a Disney castle on this thing. And thankfully, that's never happened. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, when people get these obsessions about their heritage, or maybe they're the Disney.
Is this heritage Disney? Is that his heritage?
I don't know.
I thought you'd be all in
Obsessions.
because you had mentioned fishing earlier. How about some fishing in Alaska? There's
Hey,
body of water up there.
Alaska fishing, I'm into. If I'm in Alaska, I don't want a castle. I don't think I want a castle. I want like something rustic,
Maybe like a
something
log
cool.
cabin or
something neat that feels like you're in Alaska. I don't want to feel like I'm in Disney Alaska. When I'm up in Alaska, I want to feel the elements. I want to go fishing in the streams. I want something cooler than that.
It does look a little tacky.
It looks kind of plasticky, right?
Yeah. Maybe that could just be the photo editing, but I don't know. I kind of like the castle. I like the tacky castle. I mean, I like it at this price. If it was like $3 million,
it is a good price. It is a good price.
No way.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next in or out. This is a sweet dome. Home resembles a spaceship. Lands in Illinois for $599. Shawn. Essentially, you have a dome home, which is now becoming a thing. This doesn't look like new construction, but you go down the driveway, and your house is a dome construction. All the rooms are cylindrical. Did I say that right?
Cylindrical and
is
circular.
that a word? Cylindrical and circular.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn, are you in or out on the dome home?
Oh, Matt, it's so ugly, but I think I'm in.
I know why you're in.
The reason
you're
is because
Airbnb in this puppy.
I'm Airbnb in it, and I think that it's so unique, right? I've never seen anything like this before, and just to have that kind of thing, like the castle thing, you're not going to be Airbnb in it. You're in Alaska, and I don't think it's good. But this is cool. There are some really unique features about it. It looks ugly as sin, honestly. I mean, the exterior
looks so bad.
Yeah, it looks really bad, but the interior is cool. And plus, I'm into the alien thing, so maybe they'll come visit, right?
I think the exterior is bad because of the photography. If this was like the Twilight shoot, you get a little golden hour. I mean, what's the benefit of this shot? You see like a rusty roof?
They should have done a night shot with a light shining on it, right?
You got to get the elevated. HD Bros Home Visit, they have like a 30-foot, tripod. Yeah. You got to get elevated. You don't want to show the underside of a dome.
That's so weird, though. Look at the crazy thing is it's shaped where half of the dome, it looks like it's sitting kind of on its side. And so the half of the house is elevated. And it's like, how did they create that was going to support that structure. It's kind of neat, right?
Yeah. An architectural feat, if I may.
It is an architectural feat, and that's why I like it. It's different. I like unique things, and I'm totally buying it.
Well, if you're ever in Semonok, Illinois, it's available for $5.99.
I'd have to lowball them on that.
Couldn't tell you where that is. It's in Illinois somewhere. All right, let's move on to our third topic, Shawn. We are headed to Maine and set sail for Maine, where you can pick up a $2.3 million private island with a lighthouse. The lighthouse has a light, but it's not operational in a sense of like, directing traffic. But this is in Winter Harbor, Maine, $2.3 million, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I think you have a, not a guest house, but like an upkeep house, like a separate house. And then you have the main house as well. And then you can take a boat about 15 minutes and you're in Winter Harbor, Maine. Shawn, as you're seeing the pictures and the videos scroll by, are you in or out on the Maine island? You're buying an island.
I'm buying it. I love
Shawn's
it.
in.
I'm in. I love water. I love being near the water, anything water, and this is gorgeous. Now, winters, I'm probably not there.
You don't want to spend winter in Winter Harbor?
No, I do not.
But look at that.
Oh my gosh, it has this really long boat slip. This is so awesome. The funny thing is, one of my clients actually just bought a house up in New Hampshire on an island, and he was looking. Well, actually, no, he was looking at one on an island. But there's a lot of things you don't think about when you're on an island. They're like, you're boating every day to get off that island. So that's something to think about. But this is absolutely gorgeous.
So it's near Acadia National Park, which is what they're
yeah.
showing right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm out. I am out on the island. It's so inconvenient.
It's very inconvenient, and that's something you got to think about. And it's kind of like, do you have enough disposable income? And that's where it really lies, right?
Maybe if it was a bigger island. If it's a bigger island. But I would feel like just so locked in. Like,
now, what if we put this in the Caribbean? Would you have
now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not necessarily I'm out on islands. It's I don't want to buy a private island. That's not for me. No, it's like I'm out on this Maine. It's gorgeous. Do I want to spend a weekend there? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I want to buy it for 2.3? Not a chance.
I mean, I don't have 2.3 either, but
yeah, in this world where Shawn and I are just buying private islands,
Yeah.
that's what we're going through right now.
Yeah, I think hey, everybody can dream. I think it's
We need to sell a few more condos.
yeah. Who's helping us? You? Hey, I want to tell you something. Something else I'm in on
What are you in on?
that I think a lot of people fell out of.
Ooh.
Peloton.
Okay.
You know what? Everybody's selling their Peloton bikes.
You're
so
in.
I bought one.
You're jumping in on the
I buy
Peloton
on the bottom
craze.
of the market, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? So I bought one the other day because a client was selling it, and I'm like, I'll buy it.
Is that what you and Eddie are going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking
in
about
your
that
meeting?
as well.
Okay.
I can't remember the guy I rode with, but he was on Dancing with the Stars. Would you know that guy?
No.
Oh.
Unless he was like someone. Well, they're always like
you guys will
someone.
know his name. I don't. This is the first
Dancing
ride.
with a guy on Dancing with the Stars.
That's what I heard.
It's got to be more. Like I need more information.
He has a Mickey Mouse tattoo right in the
Okay,
inside
well,
of his arm. Anyways,
I should know that.
I rode
by
with
now.
him this morning. He and I were like stopping 5. No, it was a recording, but it was the first time I'd ever experienced a Peloton ride. And the cool thing about it is, you've got now you can ride scenic rides, which is pretty cool, which was one of the reasons I wanted to do it, because I was like, I don't know how much I'll actually do the classes. Then they have games where you can like pedal and like change lanes and stuff, which is pretty neat as well. But I tried the actual class this morning, and I just registered it and got it all done. And I feel fantastic today. I mean, honestly, it was only 20 minutes, and I ride my bike around Arlington almost every morning. But this is a different feel. You don't get the wind, but you don't stop pedaling. And I don't know, man. Everybody's falling out of Peloton. I'm in. I'm buying.
Shawn's jumping in 2.5 years after everyone's in on Peloton.
Yeah, everybody's like, dude, I still have a mullet.
Yeah. So, dude, what are you talking about?
I got to tell you, I feel really great, and I'm totally in. I'm sucked in.
Okay. Well, you have motivated me to go to the gym today because
right.
I've fallen out in a bad way.
Good.
All right, guys. Let us know if you're in or out. Castle, Dome Home, Private Island, and then you think this penthouse is going to sell for $250 million. I'm going to go on the record and just hot take. $250 million. 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 $250 milli 239.
Damn,
1 million more than the last, the one that sold for 238.
Oh, that's a good guess. I was originally going in the 234 mark, but you might have changed my opinion. We'll just stick with those numbers: 234 million, 239 million. My first guess would have been it's going to sell for 250. It might just go, but
we'll I was thinking that the developer on Instagram, I think they have like 30,000 followers. They follow 180 people.
Wow.
And they, Sirhan this, Sirhan that. And I looked at their followers list, and I'm one of the followers.
Oh, yeah?
They follow me. Maybe I should send them a DM, Gary, see if I can get in. A little quick tour.
Wow.
Me, Shawn, and Kurt.
Look at that, dude.
What do you think?
You're a freaking influencer. This guy's an influencer, man.
All right, guys. We've dilly-dallied way too long. If you're still here, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already. 5 stars on your favorite audio podcast player. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Take care.